Okay, YouTube. I've had a lot of questions on how to make cartridge rolls. These dudes here that you can buy, they get expensive. There's tapers, there's all kinds of sizes, all kinds of grits. Um, I just make my own. Simply use, I buy rolls of sandpaper. Here's a strip of off a roll. Here's a roll here. So they're 3-inch rolls. And to me that's the best because you can, out of a 3-inch strip of paper like this, you can get about 3 cartridge rolls out of it, honestly. um, so what I do is I take a piece of rod. It's probably about 4 inches long. It's a 1/4 inch round, and this one's hollow, but you can use solid um, pins like this, steel rods. And this one, you can see, you just put a slit down the center of it with a cutting wheel. You can see that. If it's solid, you'll want to cut all the way across it and then down to catch the paper. But all you do is you make this little thing here, and then you can slide. You can put your paper in. You can see how that's in there like that. Slide that all the way down. Of course, you'll have overhang, which comes in handy. And then you just roll it real tight on there, like this. So you got your cylinder there, and then you take a couple pieces of tape. Let me get those here. Just some regular tape, and you tape it on the bottom. And since you've got it hooked in the center, it stays tight. And then you take another piece of tape and put it towards the top of this to kind of keep, you want to keep the flap down as much as you can, just because that could kind of create grooves in your sanding. And this is for sanding in tight spots that are a 1/4 inch or smaller. And if they're smaller than a 1/4 inch, if you leave this hang over, it'll actually get down in tighter places, 1/8 inch tight, or even some squares, depending on how you angle your sanding. So there's basically my sanding cartridge. So, and then once you use a top portion of this, and always use a dry sandpaper, a cloth paper like this. This is clean spore gold, and if you use the dry paper, it'll flake off and you'll have new paper underneath it real quick. So the sticky back doesn't work good for me, but some people prefer it. So basically what I do is I'll sand, and this will wear down, and then when it kind of gets to a point where you want to create like another roll, you just, you'll cut the end of it off and take this piece of tape off, and then basically you've got another new fresh sanding roll there. So that's sanding roll number 2, and then as you use it down, you can cut that off and you've got a fresh piece, sanding roll number 3. You can go further than that, but if you get 3 sanding rolls out of a single 3-inch piece of sandpaper, you're doing pretty good. You're ahead on as opposed to buying these things. These things are anywhere from 30 cents a piece to 90 cents, depending on where you buy them, depending on what brand and how good you want. So that's what I use. It's an easy way, and it's not just for, I'm a polishing company, but you can use these in various sanding applications where you need to get in tight spots. And so I'll buy several rolls of grits of paper, and it is so much cheaper. I think I figured by the time I use 3 rolls per piece of 3-inch paper, it equals out to about probably 10 cents a roll, maybe less, 5 to 10 cents per roll, as opposed to 30 to 90 on these. So, and then some people will use sanding grease on top of these. Kind of helps out a little bit, makes the paper last longer. Of course, that'll depend on what paper you buy. But just a simple little old school shortcut that I use. You'll want to watch, keep your paper to where you don't have your piece of this rod hanging out. Round out that edge, because when you get down to that point, you know, you'll start scarring your metal. So just be cautious about that. But it's pretty easy to see if you just pay attention. But that's what I use. Saves a lot of money. Thanks for watching.